Good evening, this is Mac Patrick from the Vintage Club.
And James Wonder from the Vintage Club.
And we are in Tilton, New Hampshire. Today we visited with Chris and Bobsy Betjemann at Barrington Publications. Had a fabulous time with them. Bobsy and Chris are very inspiring. Then we visited Ande Kahora at Barrington Motorworks. We got a complete look at his operation, and he's doing very well. Tomorrow, Saturday, we're going to Bud Proven's and Nick Wackett Garage, and after that, on Monday, we're going to
Todd Trumbore's
in Harleysville, Pennsylvania, and then Jim Hopkins in Maryland, and Bob's BMW. Now, we're changing our schedule, so we are advising you to be sure and check the schedule at our website to note any changes.
So, yes, so we were due to stay in Bennington, Vermont tomorrow. We're going to change that due to extreme weather. We're under the awning here because of extreme weather. So, we're not going to be staying in Bennington, Vermont. And we're not going to be doing East Stroudsburg either. So we're going to be skipping those two. After tomorrow at Bud Proven's, the next stop will be Todd Trumbore on Monday. So please be aware that East Stroudsburg and Bennington are canceled, and Max on Sunday is canceled. So just know that we're doing this because of extreme weather. But still, we will be at Todd Trumbore's on Monday, Jim Hopkins on Tuesday, and Bob's on Wednesday. Now also know that Bob is doing a whole party and get-together on Wednesday. So when you come with us during our visit on Wednesday, you can stay at Bob's afterwards. Bob's putting a whole thing on.
Bob's BMW has lots of information at his website. So have a look there. Did we say it all?
I think we said that all.
Okay. Should we say it again? We had a great time at Chris and Bobsy Betjemann's and Ande Kahora's Barrington Motorworks. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. See you soon. So in order to show as many motorcycles as possible, I sped up some of these clips. As you can see, Max has quite a voluminous inventory. So I wanted to show most of the motorcycles. I like the REGS, obviously. I wanted to show most of the motorcycles as well as the gear that he has. But he has a lot of really good stuff. Max was also gracious enough to allow us to see his machine shop that he set up to do a lot of the current, but also the vintage motorcycles. So he has a lot of really very interesting, that's the dynamic balancer that he balances crankshafts with dynamically. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have that done. And he has a lot of really good machine tools here. So I wanted to show as much as possible. And yeah, it was really nice of him to let us in.
Yes, your books do come from somewhere. Right here. Witness the Ukraine flag.
And this is where it all happens.
Yeah, it looks a little different these days.
This is this was done for multiple purposes. One of which was to get us through the COVID pandemic when we couldn't go anywhere.
Yep.
And we started this about 3 years ago. And well, let me back up a little bit. Within a week of our selling the business to Andy, I won't call it a mistake, but I missed it within a week. You know, I've had a wrench in my hand more than a scalpel in my lifetime. And we knew we had to do something. And so we had this bike is basically built out of pieces. We had a lot of R51/2 engine parts. We had two 51/2 transmissions. We had that fuel tank fabricated. And we had sold the rolling chassis of this bike to Andy, which we bought back. And so we started building this, and what we wanted to do was put into this bike as a street bike, a lot of which we did years ago on 2 camshaft engine race bikes, and try some things out. Now, we built a number of R50S based race bikes for Dave Percival. And with those bikes, we balanced the crankshaft dynamically. And then after the balancing was done, we welded the crankshaft into one big piece. My theory of failure of the 50Ss was that because they rev so quickly and so high, the 5 pieces of the crankshaft could shift.
So,
How the heck did Peter never sign on the side of the fender like that?
There's another side to the fender.
yeah, we can go this side if you wish. We can go top. Roland sign there. Peter sign. I can turn it if you want. Okay. Christopher, thank you very, very, very much. Thank you.
He does that every time. He asks me to sit.
Bobsy,
Yeah.
thank you. Love to have you sign the front fender.
I have to do it artistically. I have to think out how I'm going to do it first.
As an artist and left-handed as well.
Yep. Too bad my hands aren't as good as they used to be.
That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Interesting story. And when we had kids, Chris didn't feel comfortable motorcycling at all. When the kids were young, we didn't. And although he flew airplanes, so.
Oh, all the little Pipers, 140, 160, 180, 235. I did a little time in a Mooney.
Oh,
Beautiful plane, love
Yeah.
that plane. I did a long cross country in a Cessna 310, and that was probably all of it.
This?
Yes.
Okay. This is gorgeous.
It's a little different.
Well, I was just nitpicking the paint job, and it took about this long to do it. I couldn't find anything. I mean, it really is stunning.
Well, the Dover white color was never used on this model bike.
Yeah.
They were all, as far as I know, they were all black.
It's an R68.
No, this is an R51/2, 1950.
Mentioned Australia,
Yep.
Portugal,
Yeah. All over.
Scotland.
Yeah.
30% of our books get shipped out of the United States.
Yeah.
We've shipped books to 30 different countries.
And we have
Name a country, we've got a book there.
yeah, and we find that places that we that we don't want to go and visit because their postal system is shaky, and they tell us, well, everything else is shaky here too. You know, it's just kind of amazing how much we've learned. And one of the most exciting things that we got to do was we've been to the Eisenach factory in Germany. That, I mean, it isn't to the average person. It just looks like a factory with the windows all busted out. But you know, thinking about history, and that's another part of these BMWs that people need to understand. We're not just dealing with the bikes. We're dealing with materials and methods of the time. I mean, this is a 1936 design, really, basically.
Let's go back for traveling in Europe for a second. We spent a month in Europe a couple of years ago with Vetch, Elaine, his wife, Mark Huggett, and his wife Esty, traveling. We saw Alsace, we saw Italy, we saw a lot of Germany, and we got over into the east of Germany and went to the Eisenach factory. And Eisenach was where the bikes were built before the war. And most people don't know this, but the frames for the 51.2s were made in Eisenach.
Oh.
How about that? Isn't that weird or what? And we went into this one room on the second floor, which was just a huge room with no columns of any sort. It was a truss structure. And all over the room were these cabinets that were about this tall. And they were maybe 4.5 or 5 feet by 8 feet. And there were cabinets with drawers, and the drawers were all about this high. You know what I'm talking about here? You open up one of these drawers, and there's a full-size pencil drawing of a BMW 328 car engine.
So Chris Betjemann will be signing books, and sorry for all the stuff in the front here, Chris. I can grab that. That's all my paperwork, thanks to you. So Chris will be signing some of the books that were brought here. And it's notable that he's doing it on the table where he has the engines. I think that's wonderful. D13 to R68 book, which was extremely helpful in restoring my R68. Thank you.
It's 500 cc's.
Well, the 51.2 is indeed largely a /3.
Really good design.
It was, yeah, it's great to have that book.
This is a double can?
We have.
With
You can always tell, like if it's a half hub, like if you look at the front brake hub, that's what they call it. This is what they call a half hub, it's not a full hub.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And they're all I would think they'd be full.
There you go.
Painted rims.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you.
The painted rims.
So Tony has
Tell me what to do.
Tony has just purchased the R51/3 to R68 book, and lucky him is he'll be getting it.
Today's the first, right?
No.
No, second.
Yep. So we are here at Barrington Motorworks. And Barrington Motorworks is now being run as a restoration shop in, obviously, Barrington, New Hampshire by Ande Kahora. Here are some of the really cool motorcycles that he's worked on. We're not going to include Max bike down there, but here are some super cool. There's one that looks like he's still doing a little bit of work on it. That would be an R27, R69S. Looks like an R50/2 right there. So yeah, some very nice stuff. So let's go on in. And thank you, Tony. Let's see. Hello, Piper. How are you doing? Piper the dog has come to meet us. And here is the great Barrington Motorworks. You're excited to be here. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Next week or following week, one of those. That 69S is supposed to go back at some point this month too, so it's just this one the fellow wants to take it across the country and back, so I'm under the crunch time right.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are fortunate to be able to be at Ande Kahora's Barrington Motorworks in New Hampshire. Andy has been in business for what, 10 years maybe?
Oh, well, Barrington Motorworks has been around for I think around 17, and then I took it over in 19. So about just going on 4 years now since ownership.
All right, and this is an example of Andy's workmanship. And how many people do you have working here in the back?
Currently, not today, but currently we've got 2 mechanics out back, and then myself and Brittany up front.
Okay.
But I try to run around and do as much as possible.
Okay.
You might find me out back or up front or curled up in the corner.
So a working supervisor, a working owner.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know of any other kind, you know. But yeah, no, it's, I think the more you do, the more you can kind of support other people doing. This would be my space, and then this has turned into
Very quickly.
yeah, customer holding stuff. So bikes that are in the process of being disassembled and reassembled. Consumable inventory. So our gaskets, our seals, our bearings and whatnot, and small little pieces here and there that have kind of made their way here, so that we don't have to run into the back and dig through that. All that stuff. We have our scrap pile of metal.
Yeah, exactly.
This is our main shop. It's changed shape a couple times. This is Casey, one of our mechanics.
Hey, Casey.
How's it going?
Yes.
Andy, we are, and I say we as in the vintage community, vintage BMW community, is very happy to have a young, bright guy like you running an honest business to repair vintage BMW motorcycles. So you are very appreciated, and we're looking for more like you. We are also looking for a search engine optimization person, as well as someone to help the club with social media. So you interact with a lot of people. If you and Brittany and whoever would keep that in mind, we would appreciate it.
And like Mark said, having younger people come in, obtaining that knowledge, bringing that forward, bringing some of the new knowledge in as well to help. And use new thoughts on some of the old stuff. It's great. It really is wonderful.
The other thing is this, in the modern, anything gasoline world, you bring it to the dealer, they plug it in and they say, oh, this is bad, or that's bad, replace this, replace that. Well, that doesn't take insightful knowledge to do that.
Right.
And what you require is someone with mechanical aptitude. And the most valuable person is the mechanic's mechanic, who can delve into something and figure it out. The pressure's on.
Exactly.
Just X.
So, Ande Kahora is going to sign the front fender of the R50/2 ISDT. And please.
Pollen is everywhere.
Yeah, no. We've been riding it. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
With Liz and Bobsy together, because
Two ladies.
well, not only that, but two dedicated, honestly, two dedicated BMW people. Because Bobsy, you've been dedicated for how many years to this, right? And Liz, not
Newly
many,
dedicated.
yeah, but Liz, not many people might know. But if you email membership at vintagebmw.org, Liz gets the emails, and Liz helps out tremendously with everything. So I want to thank Liz because she saved me a ton of time. All right, so thank you, Liz, and Bobsy, thank you for everything that you've done.